So today I want to talk about the state of Mac hardware and why it's so disappointing. There's a lot of controversies going on right now with the Mac, specifically the new MacBook Pro that was released a couple of weeks ago. And I'll be honest, this is not a great time for Apple in terms of the Mac. In fact, it's so bad that I would not recommend a single new Macintosh computer to anyone. It's really amazing. Anytime that people have asked me what computer to buy, I've been recommending them to buy used because I really don't think anything in the Mac lineup is worth it right now. So we'll start by MacBook Air. I generally don't like the MacBook Air, and it's basically not been updated since 2015, so that's off the list. The MacBook Pro, the cheaper ones are still the 2017 models and are way overpriced. The Touch Bar ones, the 13-inch, are pretty decent, but the keyboards aren't great and they're way too expensive. The 15-inch are suffering from numerous problems, mainly the thermal throttling and the absurd prices at the moment. Moving on to the Mac Mini, it has not been updated since 2014. That's a pass. The iMac hasn't been updated since last year, so while it's a good buy, it's really not a good buy right now because it's going to be updated any moment. The iMac Pro has numerous problems, as found out by Snazzy Labs with the VESA mount, and also Linus Tech Tips with the display. Regardless of your opinion on both of those situations or the people who are involved, you cannot deny that the support structure for the iMac Pro is not there yet. And of course, the Mac Pro hasn't been updated since 2013, so just don't buy that new. So yeah, I mean, what the heck is going on here? The new MacBook Pro I really thought was going to be a game changer. You know, increasing the core counts, having that available Core i9. I thought that that was going to be great. I was maybe even considering trading it in. But with all of this stuff with the thermal throttling, even though Apple released a fix for it, I still don't think that they have the proper cooling for a computer with that kind of power. And really, it would only be worth it for me to upgrade from my 2016 if I went for the Core i9. That's where kind of I would want to be with that computer, and I really don't trust, especially the long-term reliability of that computer. Because with those kinds of temperatures, I've got a friend with a Core i9 that hits 100 degrees all the time. Using a computer at high temps for that amount of time is really taxing on the chip, so I'm not confident in the long-term reliability of that machine. Also, pretty recently, there's been rumors and murmurings in the tech sphere about the T2 chip that's found in the 2018 MacBook Pros as well as the iMac Pros, so pretty much the newest Macs there are, and that they are supposedly causing kernel panics, which is not great. Now, in addition to the reliability issues, I'm really a little bit disappointed with the performance that we're seeing because Apple has been using these Radeon Pro chips in the iMacs and the MacBook Pros with dedicated graphics. They really should be putting more powerful graphics in these machines. And I get that they're going for thin and light and for portability, even with the 15-inch MacBook Pro, but I'd really prefer them to go back to the thickness of the previous generation MacBook Pros and put something a little bit beefier. Even if they put Radeon Pro chips, putting something like a 580 would be really nice. I mean, the 580 is good for performance. It's got 8 gigs of VRAM. It's what they use in the 27-inch iMacs at the moment, and I really think that belongs in the MacBook Pro, even if it's, you know, a little bit extra. Because I understand the whole Apple tax, it's not going to get any cheaper. I'm not going to delude myself into thinking that we're going down in prices and up in graphics, but they should at least offer that with a better thermal solution. None of this is looking like it's going to happen anytime soon, and it really is disappointing because there are a lot of people with previous generation MacBook Pros that are getting ready to upgrade that need the extra performance for their workloads. And these new generation MacBook Pros, I wouldn't necessarily trust for someone who is using it on a high-end daily basis. I have a 2016 MacBook Pro that I use for most of my editing in conjunction with my Mac Pro that I have behind me, and I figured that that MacBook Pro is decently reliable, at least on a component side. The keyboard not as much, but I can get that replaced, and I have other computers that I can use in the meantime. But if you are relying on a high-end MacBook Pro to be used daily, you need to be able to trust this thing completely. So my secondary MacBook Pro is this. It's a late 2013 Retina MacBook Pro 15-inch. This one's got the spec'd out processor, dedicated graphics, and half a terabyte of storage. Now, this is a fantastically reliable machine. This thing is going on 5 years old, and it has not failed me once. The only thing this has been to the shop for was getting that screen delamination issue fixed. That was from the previous owner. I bought this thing used. And I also got the battery replaced under that same program. So, you know, that wasn't really necessary, but I got it done. But other than that, this computer has been unbelievably reliable. It has not missed a beat. In general, these older 2013, 2014, 2015 Retina MacBook Pros have been absolutely wonderful machines. The 2012 and early 2013 Retinas, the 15-inch with dedicated graphics, do have slight issues with the graphics. It's not actually the graphics card, but it's an IC on the motherboard, so that can be fixed with a DIY solution. But, you know, I just maybe stay away from those. But these late 2013, the mid 2014, which is pretty much the same, and the 2015 ones with the AMD graphics and the 15-inch and the Force Touch trackpads, these machines are bulletproof. They are fantastic devices. I'm sure they've got their issues here and there, but they're nowhere near the current pace of unreliability that we're seeing. I mean, the fact that I can't rely on the keyboard of my MacBook Pro is a little bit unnerving. Now, the MacBook line has been particularly troublesome. I'm sure that whenever Apple refreshes the iMacs, I'll be very, very happy with those. I was very happy with last year's iMac refresh, with, you know, using Kaby Lake and upgrading the graphics. I think they're some of the best Apple computers out there, but of course I would not recommend buying one new because they've been out on the market for over a year now, so you should pick up one used or refurbished, or just wait for the new update. But I have no doubt that the update will see 6-core iMacs in the 27-inch, will have probably 580X graphics or something around there. So I'm sure those will be fine when they come out, but we're still waiting for them to come out. So I don't know what the holdup is. So yeah, my advice as it stands, if you're shopping for a new Mac right now, either your old one broke or it's too old, I don't recommend buying a new one. If it's an iMac, get a refurbished one. There's no point paying extra for a new version of exactly the same iMac. If you're shopping for a MacBook Pro, just skip the Touch Bar generation. Go back to a 2015 Retina. That's going to be cheaper and it's going to be more reliable. And you're not going to have to make any sacrifices on the ports. It's really sad that every new Apple product that comes out has a caveat. It has something where you're like, it's great, but there's not a single thing that they've released in the past pretty much 2 or 3 years at this point that doesn't have the but attached to it. That sounds kind of weird. But anyway, that's my 2 cents. This video was kind of an open-ended rant, so I apologize if it wasn't the most riveting content. But I really just wanted to let it be known that, you know, as much as I like Apple and Apple products, it's really disappointing what's been going on the last few years, and I hope that they will dedicate some time and energy into making some really great products in the future. So that'll do it for this video. As usual, make sure to follow me on Twitter @LukeMiani. Don't forget to join my subreddit. The link is in the description below. And of course, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.